Hello everyone, it's Jamal Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. So it is 2:23 p.m. on a Thursday. I just did a story, but I need to do another one because this one just happened so we can get some real news at real time. So there was supposed to be a meeting between Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un. They were supposed to meet, they were supposed to have a summit, they were going to have a powwow, just bros. And they started having back and forth. Now, here's the catch. Donald Trump goes to the UN, screams Rocket Man, says that the guy's going to be a rocket man because he's setting off missiles. Mind you, no self-awareness that the country that he's saying Rocket Man has just destroyed multiple nations. No self-awareness at all. It is good when we use military force, and it is okay, and you should pretty much ignore it. But when they're setting off bombs in tunnels, oh, that's bad. We don't like you setting off bombs in tunnels. That looks aggressive to us. That looks aggressive. But nevertheless, they were supposed to get together. It was an accidental get-together, but nonetheless, they were going to exploit it, and both of them were going to get together. John Bolton gets on the TV and in a conversation says, we need to use the Libyan model. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Libyan model is this model where they get the country to give up their weapons, then they foment a revolution in that country, and then they murder that person using military arms. That's the Libyan model in a nutshell, because that's essentially what happened to Gaddafi. Give up his weapons, foment a riot, go in because of humanitarian reasons, and destroy the individual and murder the person. You can imagine that if you're trying to have a negotiation with a country and one of the people who are in the top whispering in the ear of the president of that country has just come out and said, we're going to get them to give up their weapons and then we're going to try to get him murdered, that country may feel some kind of way about that. Especially when the person who's around the ear of the president has also called for the changing up of the country prior. Kim Jong-un, or people talking for Kim Jong-un, comes out and says, it is repugnant to us, John Bolton. That man is repugnant to us. Now, I listen to that statement and I hear objective reality. John Bolton is a repulsive, horrible human being. So when somebody calls him repugnant, I take those words, yeah, that's about right. If I see excrement on the ground and somebody says, oh, that's kind of gross, that's excrement, I say, you're right. That's objective reality. Same thing here. But John Bolton didn't like those words, apparently, and Donald Trump didn't like people calling John Bolton repugnant. Despite John Bolton prior saying that the other guy should essentially have his head chopped off or a machete in his ass. Essentially get killed. I'm talking about what happened to Gaddafi, his machete in his ass. Nevertheless, North Korea goes through with one of the preconditions of the meeting, meaning that they were supposed to detonate or destroy some of their nuclear test sites. North Korea detonated one of their nuclear test sites. And a few hours after detonation of that test site, Donald Trump pulls out of the meeting. Once again, breaking another arrangement, as you can call it. That's pretty amazing. I mean, that's a breathtaking level of not paying attention to what your own guy has done. And yeah, he pulls out the meeting. He pulls out the meeting. Now, whether you can say that they weren't going to have that meeting in the first place, that Donald Trump had no intention of having that meeting, well, whatever you want to say, they pulled out of the meeting. All of these people screaming, Nobel Prize, Nobel Prize. You people are insane. Donald Trump has been murdering people in mass, maximizing the number of people he's been murdering and killing over that of Obama. So, Nobel Peace Prize, you're insane. That takes a breathtaking level of not paying attention to what the fuck is taking place around the globe. But in this very specific case, there is no military solution to North Korea. Anything that this person does with the standpoint of trying to topple that government is going to end up with chaos for South Korea or chaos for Japan. That region of the world is not somewhere where you can go in and smash like a hammer. Does that mean that the maniac, John Bolton, or that the other neocon, Mike Pompeo, won't necessarily whisper in Donald Trump's ear to get him to behave in ways that would not necessarily be in the best interests of this country? The whole idea of running in an election that Donald Trump ran on was America First. None of this stuff. Breaking the deal with Iran, it certainly was not America first. And now this, creating this level of chaos in North Korea, is not America first. If you honestly believe that Donald Trump is for the good in this particular region of the world, I have no idea what you're looking at. Yes, you may have this situation where the North and South come together, but I say that it's more of China than it is of Donald Trump. But whatever. You can have whatever thoughts you want with in regards to that. But please tell me you understand that this is not necessarily a good thing. Like, if you say that you're going to meet another foreign leader, then meet that other foreign leader. Donald Trump would have been able to get so much gravitas by taking that meeting. John Bolton is repugnant. John Bolton was the one who said those things, going after their leader of that particular country. Not to mention, like I said, they lived up to one of the prerequisites of the meeting. That by itself should have given you this idea. However this started, even if it was this kind of just political gamesmanship, which is, I suspect that's what it was. They took that extra step. Meaning that wasn't just gamesmanship, destroying that tunnel. That was an extra step. That was that country reaching out for saying, okay, let's try to have a meeting. Now, if you want to say that the actions and the belligerence of Donald Trump got them to the point of having that meeting, maybe, okay, I'll give them that much. Potentially. That is a dangerous game to play, but maybe. Well, you got them to the bargaining table where they were willing to talk, and you just canceled the meeting that he was willing to talk with after they went through doing that particular part. They're doing their part. This is Washington Post. North Korea declares its nuclear test site disabled hours before the Trump campaign cancels the summit. North Korea claimed Thursday that it destroyed its key nuclear weapons test site, setting off explosions to collapse underground tunnels before President Donald Trump calls off his June 12th summit with North Korea leader Kim Jong-un. The North had used this site, tucked in a remote and mountainous area, to detonate 6 increasingly large nuclear test bombs over the last 11 years. The apparent demolition was widely seen as a diplomatic gesture towards Washington, even as it remained unclear whether the made-for-TV blasts marked any significant change in North Korea's nuclear capabilities. So what? Oh, I see what they mean. They're saying, I misunderstood when I read that second time. We don't know what their nuclear capabilities are. Like, yes, we think they might have them, but we don't necessarily know whether or not we have them for certain. We've seen certain blasts. That particular country is somewhat closed. It's kind of sealed country. The people in the country have these. One of the teachers that used to work in the country used to call the kids her little liars. She was like, they're her little liars. And the reason it's an odd country. I mean, it's one of those things where like my wife and I were watching a video because I drag her to these videos, and the leader had died. The previous leader had died, and it's like all of these people were lined up, and they were like clapping, and the newsman comes out, and he's just weeping openly on camera, like, "Oh my God, he died! He died!" He's like flipping out on camera, like completely unabashed, and my wife and I are in there laughing our ass off. And you would talk to the people there, and they would say stuff like, yeah, North Korean is the best language, so everybody in the world essentially just speaks North Korean. It's like, what? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Or the leader can speak 1,000 different languages. Like, they would just say these weird things. She's calling them the little liars. There's a hermetically sealed bubble. Regardless, I don't want us to go to war with that country. I don't care if they're little liars or not. I don't care about any of this other stuff that goes on within the internal parts of the country. If they want him out, they get him out. But I don't want to be a part of it. It's none of my business. And if we're talking about making America first, blowing other countries up is not the way to do it. This is Trump cancels meeting with North Korea, citing tremendous anger and open hostility. Now, let's be honest. Even if you're a Trump supporter, let's be honest. Whatever you want to think of Mike Pompeo and whatever you want to think of John Bolton, certainly you can acknowledge that John Bolton came out saying that we should use the Gaddafi treatment on their leader of their country. That it was John Bolton who comes out making just this kind of glib remark that it is perfectly okay to kill the leader of another country and essentially topple that particular government of that country. How on earth are the people in another country supposed to take that? And if you're being honest with yourself, it is pretty fucked up that he said that, and not just fucked up. Stupid. I think I said it on one of my other videos. It is stupid. If that's what you're talking about doing, where you're saying, yes, we're going to have a meeting together, and the person who's associated with you comes out in this most incompetent, over-the-top way, talking about we're going to topple the country. What is the person in the other country supposed to do? I mean, let's be honest. So Donald Trump saying this open hostility and anger is nonsense. Even if you're a Trump supporter, please tell me. You can look at this and say, this is nonsense. They were in the wrong. Your team was grossly in the wrong. Now, that's assuming that peace was your objective. If your goal, if your objective was to come to some level of kumbaya, then you acknowledge that, okay, this repugnant person just spoke nonsense. You're right. And you give this shit a pass, and you get on with the business of trying to come to some level of agreement. Let's look at this. I mean, I was going to give Donald Trump credit if Donald Trump went to have that meeting. But Donald Trump refused to have that meeting. And Donald Trump was the one who, once again, canceled another international meeting. President Donald Trump canceled the scheduled nuclear summit with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un on Thursday, citing the tremendous anger and open hostility he said Kim displayed in recent statements. In a letter to Kim, Trump described the decision to end negotiations over the June 12th meeting in Singapore as a truly sad moment in history. Yeah, I bet it is. The two countries were working for weeks toward the first ever summit of a North Korean leader and a U.S. president. This is a tremendous setback for North Korea, and indeed a setback for the world, Trump says at a White House hours after the letter was released. If and when Kim Jong-un chooses to engage in constructive dialogue and actions, I am waiting. That's amazing. Trump said he spoke to Defense Secretary Jim Mattis and allies in the region on Thursday and repeatedly indicated U.S. military forces were ready should North Korea engage in any foolish or reckless acts. This prospect of a summit has significantly eased tensions between North Korea and the United States that had escalated a year earlier. And again, just so we're very clear on who ended this, Trump ended the summit. John Bolton started the, I guess you could say, lip popping that eventually caused these two the summit to break apart, or caused Kim Jong-un to essentially respond. And saying that you're going to get somebody killed as a leader of a foreign country, that's a fail. That's stupid, and that's a fail. That's a level of incompetence that's breathtaking. And then in the summit after your person did something like that is even worse. So this is just a heads up. I'm not going to keep this one all that long. Hillary seeks Trump regime change too. Yes, she does. Robert Mueller's day off. Trump is dumb. What's new? Baltazar 228. Robert Mueller's day off. Ferris Bueller's day off. Ferris Bueller's day off. I hope people know what that is. Pet hacker Bob Ramirez said no doubt about that. Clinton's meddling. Trump has agency. Well, oh, right there. So is it that Trump has surrounded himself with a bunch of neocons and he's getting things whispered in his ear? Or does Trump have agency? That's the question that always comes up, right? And then we don't know. I mean, I think if a bunch of people came to you in military suits and say, hey, people are going to die if you do X, then I think a reality show host is going to do X. Especially when that reality show host knows in his head that he's bad at a bunch of stuff. And he knows nothing about this. But what about this? This kind of foreign policy choices where these guys are making choices on a large scale on whether they interact and everything else. For all we know, this could be something as simple as John Bolton is my guy. I don't like you calling my guy repugnant, so I can't meet with you. It could be that simple. It really could be that simple. Yeah. Eric Futerfus Bolton meant his Libyan model comment to be taken exactly how it was because he wanted the summit sabotaged. See, you're giving Bolton more common sense or more good sense than I give Bolton. I don't think Bolton thought that at all. What I think is Bolton has in his head the same thing that a lot of Americans have in their head, that when we do something, it is okay. So it is okay for Bolton to go out and say that because he doesn't expect any consequence from Bolton going out and saying that. I think he's incompetent. I don't think this is, three-dimensional chess. I think John Bolton is incompetent. I think they have him for that specific job because he's incompetent. They know that if you ask Bolton a question, Bolton is going to give you the exact same answer. Yes, we need to blow it up. Yes, we need to take it over. Yes, we need regime change. So, yeah. I'm not a fan, but she is not omnipotent. I agree with that. Yeah, Mark Clinton. Hello, jerk. Yeah, I agree. All that hard diplomacy work thrown down the toilet. Dump vids. Yeah! Donald Trump, he doesn't fully grasp the potential that he's had in some of these occasions. Getting elected to the president of the United States. That by itself. And from a political standpoint, you could do whatever you want. And you could do things for political effect. This is kind of what I mean when I say he's incompetent on a lot of the stuff. And this was one of those things. This was a political bombshell. All of these people, how dare he meet with his leader? How dare he meet with the North Korean leader? He should have stuffed it in their face. God damn it, I went over there and I made peace with North and South Korea. I'm fucking Donald Trump. I'm going to put a Trump tower right here on the border where there was this demarcation line between North and South. He should have did that. Purely for political effect, he should have did it. Even if nothing came from it, he should have did it. He should have did it. So, yeah. I mean, it's fucking horrible. Whether Bolton... And look, I could be wrong on Bolton. Maybe Bolton is not as incompetent as I think Bolton is. Maybe Bolton did that on purpose because he doesn't necessarily want a peace agreement. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Hello, jerk. When I see Clinton's audited by an outside neutral agency, I'll believe Clinton machine has no power. Right now, I view them as all powerful or more powerful than Tammany Hall, Tammany Hall. Mossadegh Allende. That's awesome. That's hilarious. No country will ever negotiate with us again. After this shit? Fuck no. I mean, after the Iran deal by itself. And by the way, the Iran deal ended up with an ultimatum that Donald Trump gave that ultimatum purely for the standpoint that thing for it to fail. There's no country will give up its sovereignty in the way that the United States wants Iran to give up its sovereignty and just lay down and play dead. It's like, just tell me you like it. That's all I want to know. It's like some rapist pervert just trying to prey on a country. I mean, it's gross and disgusting. It's utterly gross and disgusting. Quagmire, that would be a smart thing to do. If Trump had any brains at all, he'd fire Bolton and go talk to Kim. Go down in history as the president who ended the Korean War. Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's precisely what I'm saying. This is a political bombshell that he has. All of these other naysayers, Rachel Maddow, how dare Donald Trump talk to the North Korean leader? No president would do that. He should say, fuck all, I'm going to talk to him and I'm going to make this shit work. Whether you are doing it or whether China is pushing it, I don't care. You would have gone down in history as a presidential bombshell. I ended this shit that has been going on for 50 years. I'm Donald fucking Trump. There's a Trump tower sitting in North Korea called, Trump Peace or something like that. Yeah, fuck yeah. Hillary is watching Jamal right now and tinting her fingers saying, exactly. Trump is a liar and warmonger. He lied during the campaign. Admit it. Trump did lie. Trump lied a lot during the campaign. Trump is lying consistently during the campaign. There are certain things, the TPP, but that's easy. When it's something that doesn't require him any political hit, he'll do it. Anything else? Not so much. He's stuck to his neoconish ideals. Trump shows his incompetency yet again. Read the letter he wrote to Kim Jong-un. It's an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment. It's like a propaganda piece. Just like Europe will continue the nuclear deal with Iran without us. Yeah. Almost every politician lies during the campaign. Pat Hacker. Yeah, Pat, we're talking about the level of lies. I mean, I think that's what people are getting at. you know, everybody's going to have big, beautiful health care. He had no intention of health care. I mean, come on. Come on. I mean, a lot of that stuff he didn't have any intention on. I'm going to raise the minimum wage to $10 an hour. That's a Republican saying he's going to raise the minimum wage. That's amazing. I'm not going to benefit at all, and I'm going to raise taxes on the rich. This stuff is fucking lies. The Mike has the PP tape. He's there now. PP tape. Trump doesn't play 4D chess. He plays one-dimensional checkers. Balthazar plays 1D checkers. Hillary is pearl clutching through scars, scratching her neck brace. What? Nobody wants Trump. Sadly, there was nobody good running Bob Ramirez. And I think that's what it boils down to. There was nobody good running. All right, guys, I'm going to end this here. I didn't want this one to be long. This was just an update. I always end up talking to my audience because I like talking to my audience. So I do that all day. I do it all day. In an odd way, I guess I do it all day when I put videos up like this. But nevertheless, Trump ends talks. Hours before Trump's in talks, North Korea detonates one of their test sites or gets rid of one of their test sites, one of the conditions of the talks. Hours after they do that, Trump ends the talks. So I'll end it here. All right, guys. If you enjoyed the content, please feel free to share, like, subscribe, and of course, you can always support through Patreon. Thanks, everyone.